KCAA. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the greatest real estate investment show ever. Here's the flip-flop investor himself, Todd Bayer.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Flip-Flop Investor Show. I am your host, Todd Bayer, the Flip-Flop Investor himself, coming to you from our new studio that is a work in progress. We are going to be filming our show here from now on with some new improvements later on to the video. So if you ever want to come check it out, be sure to check us out on YouTube Live or on, what are we on? We're on all kinds of stuff, iHeartRadio and whatnot. YouTube Live is where you can see the video, though, or on the KCAA website. Anyway, every week we get together and talk about real estate investing with a local investor. And this week we have a very special guest, Thomas Chappelle. How you doing today, Thomas?
I'm doing fine. Thank you very much for asking. I'm kind of a little under the weather, so you guys have to excuse me. I apologize.
Yeah, Thomas is coming off a sinus infection like a lot of people right now. So, yeah, normally he's got a much, much better voice. Trust me.
Oh, definitely.
For those of you that have been following along, every month we like to go with a theme. So January we went over goal setting, February we went over business planning, and now that we're in March, we're going over acquisitions. So this is basically, you made your goals for the year, you laid out your business plan, and the next step is really going out and finding deals, right?
Exactly.
That's pretty much the third step in the whole process. So deal finding, it's a big topic. Me and Tyler covered a bunch of topics last week, Steven the week before that. And then now we got Thomas, who's the guy that finds the deals. I mean, you run acquisitions, for CRG, basically. You're the one that brings in all the deals. I don't know if anybody else is bringing any deals in right now. So, we're going to dig deep into your deepest secrets about finding these deals, and I'm sure we're going to learn some good stuff. So we should just jump right in. We were just talking about this deal that we did in Hemet.
Correct.
This is a deal which I think is probably about the ugliest deal we've ever bought. Probably needs the most work. Like going into this place, it's got an uneven foundation. There are rooms added in this place that are completely just falling apart. I don't think I've ever seen so many cobwebs in a house before. This place is bad. So how did you find that deal?
I found a deal. I used to deal with a guy named Val Falcon.
Okay.
And he had his own dog bird club.
Oh, bird dog, yeah.
Bird dog club, if you will. And he had me on his mailing list, so he sent out a bunch of emails about different properties that he had. But some of them were not good properties and whatnot. So the guy that he worked alongside with, this guy named Patrick Ross, contacted me personally and let me know that this property was available. And so I ended up looking at the numbers and saw that they worked out fine and turned around and put an offer on that property.
Yeah, so he's was he basically looking to wholesale this property?
Yes, he was. I met Patrick about a couple of years ago at you guys' club.
Oh, yeah?
And he stopped coming because his wife took ill and whatnot. So, but I stayed in contact with him. And since I did that, he thought enough of me to contact me and say, hey, I got this property coming down the pipeline. Would you be interested in it? And I said, sure. So went on and checked everything out and saw that the numbers was great. And here we are.
Yeah, so you basically put this property under contract with Patrick, or was it with Val?
It was both, Val and Patrick, yes.
So then, so you put it under contract, and then we closed the deal, and now we're working on the rehab. I know we had a lot of trash to clean out of this place.
Tremendous, because it was a total tear down. It was a burnt up property. We never got a chance to get on the inside. We had the pictures of the outside with all the debris and whatnot, but we was waiting on the fire marshals to give us a thumbs up to be able to go in. So we finally were able to go in and check it out and see that it is just, wow. It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. I guess at some point we'll be finishing this project. We'll post it up there for people to see.
Oh, yes, definitely. The before and after effect, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's going to be night and day with this one. And I know our rehab budget on it's pretty high, too. I think we're spending like $100,000 on it or something.
115.
Like yeah. Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big one. You could practically rebuild a home for that price.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about it, it's in a nice, loving area, and it's got a pool too. So
yeah,
it will bring the resale value up tremendously.
Yeah, it's on a good street,
yes,
out in Hemet, and it's good spot. So it's got a lot going for it. That's for sure. Okay, so you found that one through a wholesaler, which we talked about a little bit last week, but what we didn't really go into was like how to cultivate these wholesaler deals, and then how to like give a wholesaler an idea of what you're looking for.
Well, basically, the first and most thing you need to do is build a relationship. And then once you build that relationship, then you can understand and tweak what it is that you want from them and what they want from you. Because most wholesalers, all they looking at is trying to get paid.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that they get enough out the wholesale deal, but you got to explain to them that you will definitely get paid, but the numbers got to work out.
Right.
And you got to find things that's definitely at a discount and not retail.
Sure.
Because most of them are just looking for retail, say, okay, here's a deal, and it doesn't work out. So once you build that relationship and then you guys sit there and have that report, now you can start structuring the kind of deals you're looking for so they know what to go after.
Yeah, and I think I've found that wholesalers just don't understand how investors actually purchase properties, and they don't know how to put together the numbers properly.
Exactly.
You know, like I know I've looked at tons of wholesaler deals, and very rarely are they actually good. You know, they're always asking for too much. They're undervaluing their rehabs. You know, like I'm like, there's no way we're getting this property fixed for $15,000, and there's no way I'm selling it for $400,000. That's
Exactly.
for sure. Like, so yeah, so sometimes they have their numbers wrong. First, they get their ARV wrong, then they get their rehab cost wrong, and then they're making their valuation, which is usually using the wrong numbers there too. They're making their valuations based upon those wrong numbers. So what they're asking for us to buy them for as an investor is usually way above what we could possibly pay as an investor.
The best part about that is because that's where I started. And I end up doing the same thing, looking at, okay, I want to get paid, and really never understood the structure until one day I heard Bruce Norris speak. And when he spoke and said, number one, if you're into this business just looking for money, you might as well get out because, you know, you'll always find money. You need to find a good deal. So I had to restructure everything and look at it. And things that I brought to you guys, and that's how we end up coming up with the spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet's been a godsend for us, you know, because now you can actually know what the numbers are, know what you're putting into it, and knowing what you're going to get out of it as far as whether you do a JV or if you do a wholesale deal.
You're talking about the spreadsheet you can find if you go to crg.email, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so www.crg.email. That's a web domain.
Exactly.
Apparently we're not using .coms anymore. I don't know. But yeah.
Everybody want to be kind of unique at it and everything.
Yeah. Or no, what is it? No, it's not. Is it? Yeah, it's crg.email. That is it. Yeah, I'm forgetting our own stuff. You know, I don't know. But yeah, I guess if anybody out there is interested in becoming a real estate investor, go to crg.email and download the, actually, well, you don't download anything. You get a big old email from us called Let's Get Started, and it has like a bunch of stuff in there. It has like a way to find deal, 40 plus ways to find a deal. Presentation. It's got that deal spreadsheet in there. There's a rehab estimator, or at least a way for you to walk through. It's kind of like a checklist, bunch of different stuff in that email. So it's free. We don't spam anybody. We just give it away for free because this is just information that everybody should know.
Exactly.
I guess we kind of want to create a I don't know, like a standard practice in the industry where wholesalers know what an investor needs to buy it at. Because I know there's some organizations out there. You hear about some of these acquisitions companies that that are around, and they find deals, so to speak, but they're not really deals to most investors unless you have cash. If you actually have cash to buy a deal, you could maybe make one of their deals kind of work at a lower margin. You know, we found that could potentially work out, but most investors don't operate on a solid cash only basis,
right?
You know, except for like the people that just happen to have a lot of cash and do maybe three or so deals a year. You know, those people can sometimes make them work. But for the institutionalized kind of investors that do multiple deals a year, like us, we're doing well over the average amount of deals people do a year. They don't work for us because we use investor money. We use other money from lenders, stuff like that, to be able to close our stuff. So yeah, we have to pay interest on that money. We can't just make the margin. So yeah, that's what's hard about working with wholesalers, I've found.
Exactly, it is. Same thing when you deal with agents and whatnot. Agents really don't understand. A lot of agents do say they have worked with a lot of investors and they truly don't know. So they'll bring you a deal saying, okay, all you need to do is pay you know, 20, 30,000 in rehab, and then we can resell it for this amount. But then once you get into it and you evaluate, reassess the property, you realize, hey, the rehab's going to be a little bit more than what they say. Now they upset because they're looking at their commission base as well.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I'm tired of writing offers and we're not getting anything out of it. You always lowballing. Well, that's what an investor does. He's going to lowball because he has to put more back into the property than he's going to actually resell it for. So if the numbers don't work out, they don't work out.
Yeah. You know, and I even like to correct people in saying we don't make lowball offers, because to me a lowball offer is offering less than what you can pay.
Right.
You know, for me, we're offering the best we can do as an investor.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not trying to lowball anybody. I'm just trying to get in for what I know I have to pay, because, you know, if I pay any more than that, I'm not going to make enough money to make it worth my time and effort. But if I offer any less, then, you know, then I'm lowballing.
Exactly.
So, you know, but another thing too is when you're working with an agent that says they've worked with investors, you should ask them how many times they've worked with the investor multiple times. Because, like, if they sell one investor one deal, they were probably working with a new person that doesn't know what they're doing.
Exactly.
And maybe that person didn't even make money, so they didn't go back to that agent. Instead, you got to call the agents that work with investors frequently, you know, because they clearly know the model much better. And, you know, the model's not complicated. I mean, for us, we've dumbed it down pretty simply. I think if we could buy a property for 76% of the after repair value minus the rehab cost, we'll buy it. You know, that's our formula.
Well, your tactics and your formula works perfectly because you guys pretty much took me up under your wing, so to speak, and taught me the business and whatnot. And my strategy now is that because I am from out of state, hey, I'm new in town. You know, I'm new to California. I'm new to California market. I'm just trying to get acclimated. What, and then also I say, well, if you were buying this property, would you want to spend your money on this property or not? And if you come to me and say, no, this is not the kind of property money I'm going to spend on a property, then this might not be the deal.
Sure.
Let's find something else.
Yeah.
That you know that you're taking your hard-earned money and you're investing into something that you're going to get in return in the long run. So that's the way I come with it now.
Yeah. And, you know, I guess to the same point, when you're looking to sell the property, some people with their after repair values, the way they calculate it, you know, they don't consider who the end buyer is going to be.
Exactly.
Who's going to buy the house from us? And, you know, what are they looking for? Because, you know, in some neighborhoods, you know, you need to put in all the upgraded fixtures and things like that. You got to have the quartz countertops and all the, you know, the upgraded lighting and, you know, recessed lighting everywhere. Some neighborhoods, you don't need all that stuff. You know, it just needs to work. The house just needs to function and not have any problems by the time we, you know, are done with it. And some houses, you just need the roof to be there, you know. You know, but yeah, and then sometimes, like, not just looking at the buyer, but you have to look at what's also available on the market, you know. So if you see all the different properties that are currently for sale in a certain area, and you're the buyer, if you put yourself in the buyer's mindset and you say, all right, there's 10 other houses for sale in this area, they're all 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom houses, and they're all around the same price range. Let's just say they're all around $300,000 or something like that. Which one do I want to buy? It's going to be the one that has the nicest fixtures, you know, the nicest amenities, things like that.
Exactly.
So, you know, if your house has the least amount of features and it's the ugliest house on the street, why would any buyer want to pay the same price they would for the one with, you know, that has all the hardscaping, the landscaping, you know, they got the lights that shine up the tree and all that stuff.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Like, that's the house they're going to want to buy. That's the 10 in the neighborhood, right?
Exactly.
As opposed to, you know, ours, which is a 6 or something. And I think generally when we're done with our rehabs, we try to be around the 8 or the 9 of the neighborhood is about where we like to be. So we like to make them nice so that we can get top dollar.
Exactly.
On the backside. But, you know, that's not everybody. There's some investors out there, you've probably seen some of them, that you know, they just put lipstick on a pig basically and call it a rehab. And, you know, they try to get top dollar, and sometimes they do, which is, it's just kind of a sign of the market going crazy or starting to go crazy.
And it's funny because you see some that do it and you see some that they put out there and it stays on the market to where they end up saying, okay, I got to get my money back, and they end up trying to resell it. But you can't resell it because it's already, I mean, to an investor, I don't want to buy because you're already rehab. So it's like, I'm not getting anything out the deal.
Yeah.
I'm just paying you back what you paid into it, you know? So it's funny like that though, but being in this industry, it could be a very rewarding industry, or it could be a headache to you. It just depends on how you approach it. You know, and I approach it with the utmost respect that I'm just not in it just for the money. I'm in it to give back to what was given unto me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all the people that I've came across since I've been doing this, I mean, it built up a community-based kind of support system that I can go to different people and ask different questions and not be afraid to put myself out there and say, hey, I'm not sure, or why don't you just take a look and let me know what you think, things of that nature.
Yeah. So let's go back to acquisitions for a little bit. We covered wholesalers, which is a pretty common one. Realtors, you know, those are the most known ones, I think. But you use some other methods too.
I use a bunch. I use Craigslist.
Let's talk about Craigslist for a second.
Okay.
So on Craigslist, I mean, I know a lot of people that have done it too, because it's sort of like a, you know, it's a classified, right? It's like the classifieds of the newspaper. So people used to use the classified sections.
Exactly.
and things like the Penny Saver or the Press Enterprise or, you know, whatever newspaper, the LA Times, I don't know, Orange County Register. People used to look at the classified section, but nobody gets the paper anymore. So Craigslist is the online version of it.
Right.
And what do? You go to the properties for sale section?
I go to the real estate properties for sale, and I just peruse it. I just see what's out there. A lot of them are sell by owners.
Okay.
You know, that's 50%. Then you have 50% that's agents and brokers and whatnot. And you do kind of come across some good deals on Craigslist.
Sure.
You know, it's just one of those gambles that you take, and it's a gamble in doing this anyway. You know, the first thing you need to know is, what is a deal? How do you assess the property? How do you come up with the figures and whatnot? And then you turn around and say, okay, once I've did all that, you know, you package it up and say, okay, here's to an investor or to a cash buyer, say, this is what I'm looking at. This is what the return's going to be. Can we do it?
Yeah. And so meeting those people, I mean, it's also, you're just meeting other people, which is a big thing, because most of this business is like networking and getting to know other people. So if you're letting these people know on Craigslist that you're a buyer, you know, it's just another avenue for deals to come into you. You know, and some people rely on things like Craigslist only. They don't rely on other stuff, right? So
that's true. And see, I put an advertisement on Craigslist too, where I say, hey, I'm a buyer. I'm looking to find properties that I can buy. This is what I'm looking for, blah, blah, blah. And then I get responses sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's almost like a mailer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
it's
doing
free.
it virtual wise. That's what it is, virtual mailing, you know. I haven't did the video. I heard you could put a video there and do it, but I haven't done one yet.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You know, we got video cameras. We got some microphones. Maybe we should make one of these videos. I mean, you know, it's always kind of fun to just test your marketing, you know?
Exactly.
And that's kind of what it is, too. I mean, the business, a lot of it is just being willing to try something and see what happens.
Exactly.
Especially if it's something free. I mean, we could put together a video for nothing, you know, and then put it up on the internet.
Yes,
you know?
definitely.
It's, yeah, part of it's just doing that, just trying stuff out. And who knows? Maybe we, you know, can start hitting things. I know some people are using like Snapchat and like Facebook Live and stuff, where that's how they're trying to cultivate deals.
Well, I did Facebook. I don't have Snapchat, but I did post on Facebook that I am looking for properties. If anybody knows, do you know? Sometimes I might throw a reward out there for them to, you know, want to even take a stab at it, because you know money talks. So
sure.
A lot of people won't do anything for no money, but if you put some money in front of them, they might do something. So
yeah, that's
one thing I do. I network. I go to a lot of the real estate investment clubs around town, and I just network. I tell people I go for 3 reasons. One, I go build my database. That's the first reason. The second reason is because everyone don't do this full time. You never know who you're going to run into.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? So even if they don't do this for full time, they do it part time, but they know people, you know, that might be selling or interested in selling or what have you. Then I go to receive something. I'm always expected to receive something. And finally, first and foremost, is to encourage me not to quit.
Okay. Yeah. So I want to get your unfiltered opinion on what is the best real estate investment club you've ever been to.
Without saying CRG, Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club.
The Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. That's one more point for us. Yeah. You know what? Maybe I'll take a quick moment to mention the club just because, you know, there's some people out there listening, probably on the drive home right now, wanting to know how to get to know people like us, where to go to find out all this information and meet all the right people. And all the people in the Inland Empire, the investors that make a difference, they go to the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club, which meets on the fourth Wednesday of every month at Loft 84 in downtown Riverside. We also have like a coffee meetup a lot of people go to that can't make it out during the week. And then we have another networking event coming soon. Hopefully we're going to put that up in April for the first time. And we'll have we're going to be doing a different thing this month. We're going to be adding a panel where we're going to kind of do like a Shark Tank style.
Wow.
Bring your deal and we'll tear it apart in front of the crowd kind of thing.
Oh, that'd be nice.
So, yeah, so people, they can bring, hopefully I want a wholesaler to bring a deal and we can kind of go over it and maybe explain to them the numbers and how the math works.
Oh, so that would be nice.
You know,
that would be nice.
Hopefully, yeah, that's what we're wanting. So we're still looking for somebody to submit their deal that we can evaluate in front of the crowd. But yeah, come check it out. Go on meetup.com and look up the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. You can come out and meet Thomas, meet myself. We're at every single meeting. I obviously host part of it. So I think I've only missed like one or two of every one of our events that we've done. We've done tons of events. So yeah, check out Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club on meetup.com. That's our little commercial. But I'm glad you like our club. That's great. You've been to a bunch of clubs all around Southern California. I've been to a bunch of clubs.
Matter of fact, I'm going to Bill Tan's club tomorrow because Pete Fortunato is speaking.
Actually, because we're pre-recording. See, it's Tuesday now,
right?
Because we're pre-recording, but this is going to be on Thursday.
Okay.
At 4 p.m. is when the show starts. It should be about 4:27 right around now, out there in Radio Land, but. So you went last night to the
exactly. Thank you for clearing that up for me.
You know, it's funny. You got to think of the future, but you know, it's pre-recording thing. But yeah, Pete Fortunato. I mean, if anybody wanted to go to it, you missed it because that was last night.
Exactly.
But I mean, Pete Fortunato is a guy from Florida. He's done a lot of creative deal structuring. Very intelligent person. You can learn a lot of stuff from Pete Fortunato. So
yeah, but going to a multitude of clubs actually helps build your brand.
Yeah,
and get you out there. You meet different people from all walks of life in various parts of this city to help you find deals. And that's one of the main keys you need to do in this business is to network. Network.
Yes.
That's it. It don't take much. Don't cost you anything.
Well, except for the cost of entry usually, but most of the clubs around here range from like $20 to $40 to get in.
Exactly. So and they're pretty much a whole month worth of clubs that you can go to, you know, and that's how you build your brand. That's how I end up getting started. Just like anybody else, they come and say, hey, I'd never done this before. I had no idea what I was doing. But once you got around people and you build your community that you network with and you trust and believe in, you'll be amazed how far you could go in this business, in this industry.
You know, what's funny is like when I first started going to investment clubs, I was always worried that I was going to go to one and all they were doing was it was just going to be like a big pitch fest kind of thing where they're just going to sell you some kind of book or seminar or something where you have to spend all this money. I was always worried about that, but there's some good organizations here in Southern California that run some pretty good clubs. I know our club, for example, we don't do any sales. You know, we don't sell anything. It's actually prohibited. We don't allow anybody to sell anything. And then but there's also the For Investors, By Investors network of clubs.
Yes.
They're a good group of people, all the different people that run those organizations in Long Beach, Orange County, Pasadena. There's a couple out in like the South Bay. And yeah, there's San Diego. They got them kind of scattered around. I know there's one in Kern County out in Bakersfield that meets. But they're a good group. You know, also, they don't do any sales. Coachella Valley, they don't do any sales up there. So we have a list, I think, on our meetup page or somewhere. I think we have it somewhere.
and the pamphlet we give every month.
That's right, we do. We have it in the booklet we put together every month. It's got a list of all the other clubs that we've sort of said these are good no sales clubs to go to.
Exactly.
So yeah, you got to come every month and get the book. Sorry, so at least come out to this month's meeting in March and get the little booklet we hand out at the beginning. It's got a bunch of good stuff in there. A lot of good information too. All right, going back to acquisitions. So going to the clubs is obviously a good place to meet the right people. You build your brand. I 100% agree with you on that, because that's kind of how we built our brand too, is just going to 16 of these clubs a month, you know?
Exactly.
So building your brand. But, I mean, you use another method too, aside from Craigslist, to meet people. And you've kind of met through like a bankruptcy attorney, haven't you?
Yes, I have. She's, wonderful, wonderful person. I met her off of Craigslist, to be exact.
Oh, yeah?
Didn't meet her till a year later, and we talked to build a relationship and whatnot. She was one of the properties that she had listed, and I ended up wholesaling that property out.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. And a year later, we finally met, but she used to work for the bankruptcy court. Matter of fact, she was so good that she was telling judges what they should do and shouldn't do on a lot of the cases and whatnot. So, and she came to me with a property that was in Phelan, that it was a short sale, and it was on it was a 3-2 mobile home on permanent foundation.
Okay.
And it was on 5 acres of land.
Wow.
And the woman owed it $165 on the property, and I bought it for $110.
Okay. So it's a short sale. Obviously, she sold it for less than what she owes.
Exactly.
And then you wholesaled it off to somebody.
Yes.
What'd they buy it for?
Bought it for $110.
Okay, so you sold it. How much? But so you got it under contract at 110, or you got it under contract for less?
Got it under contract for the $110.
And then, but you wholesaled it. So did you not make any money in the wholesale?
Oh yeah, I made money in wholesale, but I'm not gonna talk about that.
Oh, you don't want to talk about the fee? Oh, I guess I was trying to get some people out there excited about how much money. But you know what? I mean, I don't know if you think. Do you think wholesaling is better than flipping, or what's your opinion right now?
My opinion is they're both equal.
Okay.
Wholesale is no different from flipping. Flipping is no different from wholesale. The only difference in between the two is that you're doing the upside on the fixture of the property once you bought it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Versus getting your money up front after you bought it.
Yeah. So you're looking at making money on the purchase versus making money on the sale.
Exactly. So the only thing you're looking at is the time between how long it would take to actually rehab the property and then put it back on the market and get it resold. But being a flipper or being a wholesaler, it's both the same to me.
Yeah.
You know, most people might look at it different because it's more detail on the rehab side than it is on the flip side. Flip side, you get more detail versus the wholesale. You get in and you get out, and you don't see what happens to the property if you're not interested. But it's imperative that you do both sides, because now you get a better understanding what to expect on the other side. Mm-hmm. If you decide to go that route, especially with a contractor. The contractor is the key.
Oh, absolutely.
Without a contractor, you have no deal. And you got to make sure that you're going to have a good contractor that's not going to milk the clock, that his guys are going to show up on time, that you budget correctly. Not only that you budget correctly, that you also turn around and finish at the time that's allotted.
Yeah. Oh, man. I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, contractors are frequently the problem. You know, at this point, we don't have many problems with our contractors. I mean, but we've been through, dozens and dozens of contractors, you know, that we've hired and fired more contractors than most people would meet in a lifetime. You know, because, yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, there's got to be a work ethic there, you know, and I can't tell you how many times I've had to meet a contractor at a property, and we agree to meet there at like 10 o'clock, and they don't show up. And I'm like, really? This is how we're going to start a relationship? You know, like, you're just not going to come, not tell me you're late, you know?
Exactly.
Call me. You got my cell phone. I mean, you know, I don't get it. I don't understand. They just don't have that business side of them a lot of times. You know, they might know what they're doing as a contractor, but they don't have that customer service or, you know, business like mindset to
definitely
pull it off. So, yeah, that creates problems down the road, because usually if they don't know anything about business, then they also have problems with invoicing. You know, they like forget that you paid them for stuff, you know, and you have to do their bookkeeping for them practically,
Exactly.
you know, and it's like, it just creates headaches down the road. So, yeah, we tend to like to work with more established contractors that have a little bit better, you know, understanding of business practices. You know, it's just made it easier for us. They might cost a little more than your average guy that's, you know, just getting started, but you know, it ends up making you money more down the road, because you're not paying for all those you know, mistakes they're going to make and all that stuff, having to redo things twice. but yeah, as you become a better wholesaler, knowing what a flip is actually like.
Exactly.
You know, I agree with that. I don't personally agree in wholesaling all that much. I think wholesaling's half of it, and you're just leaving money on the table. But you know, some people they would rather do that. They would rather just focus on acquisitions because rehabs don't excite them.
Exactly.
So I get it. You know, for me, I kind of like the rehab part of it.
I do. And like I said, when I started this business, I started it as a wholesaler because I really didn't know what I was doing. And I said I needed to get my feet wet because in order for me to become a flipper, I had to get my feet wet, find me a decent contractor, and that's the hardest thing to do. You can have a sweet deal, but if you don't have a contract, you might as well cancel Christmas. You know, because it's not going to happen. You see a lot of these programs on TV, and they give you the romantic side of the struggle, and they tell you, okay, I'd have made $195,000, but they don't tell you where that money's allocated, so they really bring it home between 25 and 50K, and then you're thinking, oh, I'm going to be rich real quick. No.
Yeah.
Can't do it if you don't have a decent contractor, because the one thing you do when you do, especially being a wholesaler, you have no idea about the plumbing, the electrical, the structure of the property, or the supporting beams if they've rotted out or anything like that. You learn those things from a contractor, because a contractor can go in there and look at a facility and say, okay, you might could be able to feel the foundation if it's slid to the left or the right, but as far as seeing any other in-depth things that go on behind the scenes, you wouldn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, you know, you you watch the programs on TV, and yeah, it shows them make all this money, but they don't account for other things like even escrow costs, you know, like paying realtor commissions, stuff like that.
Exactly.
I'm like, I've watched some of those shows. I'm like, okay, so they probably lost at least $15,000 on this deal. You know, like watching some, I'm like, wow, they didn't account for anything in here.
No, my favorite one is, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go for it.
My favorite one is the one in Vegas, the Vegas couple.
Oh yeah.
I love them. They are hilarious. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, they always like, I know their shtick is usually like he goes in, he gets really upset about, you know, some changes that need to be made, and
Exactly.
and the property needs to be done tomorrow because tomorrow is the open house.
Exactly.
And, you know, then his wife goes in there and she decides to, you know, move a wall or do something in the kitchen that he didn't want. And
Exactly.
Yeah, it's always it's good entertainment, that's for sure.
It definitely is.
Yeah, but it's not, you know, it's not a reality show entirely. It's kind of reality, but you know, rehabs do not happen overnight. I don't think they even do them overnight on the shows. You know, I've never like been to one of their houses before out in Vegas, but they I mean, it'd be kind of fun to meet them and, you know, kind of go around some of their projects one day, but I'm sure I'd have to probably pay like $20,000 just to get on a bus with them or something.
Yeah.
You know, so they make money on their seminars, that's for sure. I don't know if they make money as real estate investors or not. That, you know, that's another conversation we'll have to have some other time. Maybe get them on the show. That'd be kind of fun.
That would be kind of fun.
We'll reach out to their people. Well, all of my people reach out to their people, and you know. So you've done some bankruptcy attorney stuff. What else have you done, like acquisition wise?
Basically, I door knock.
Oh yeah, door knocking.
Use Property Radar, get the information, door knock.
Have you used like findsellers.com, anything like that?
I haven't yet.
Okay, or Namo?
Yeah, I haven't yet. I'm getting into that. But, you know, I just use the Property Radar, start door knocking. Sometimes it's beneficial, sometimes it's not, because, you know, it depends on the person that you're speaking with. But the one thing you want to do when you go out and door knock is you want to scavenge the neighborhood, see what it's about, and then find your Miss Kravitz.
Yeah.
Some old person that's been in the neighborhood for years that loves to talk like I do and will tell you everything you need to know about that neighborhood and point you to the person that wants to sell.
Yeah.
You know, so
she's probably sitting on her porch.
Exactly.
When you're walking down the street.
So that's what I do. And not only that, you know, I do a lot of calls. I call agents. I call individuals that I think that aren't going to sell, or if they know anybody that's willing to sell. Like I said, I meet a lot of people at clubs. I pass cards around. I just network. That's basically it.
Yeah. Yeah, networking is a big deal. I mean, I know, like in my neighborhood, I have an HOA, like, and the homeowners association president is our neighborhood Mrs. Kravitz. You know, she knows everybody in the whole neighborhood, and then, you know, she knows who's late on their HOA dues. She knows everything going on in the whole neighborhood. So, you know, she's the person you want to get to know in my neighborhood.
Exactly.
Because, yeah, she can point you in the right direction. She knows how to get a hold of everybody, which is a big deal because sometimes there might be a renter in a property or something like that. Or maybe they're renting it to an old, like a, you know, nephew or their own kid or something, and, you know, they're not paying their HOA dues, they're not paying their taxes, they're not paying anything or paying no mortgage. I don't know. So it's good to sometimes get in touch with her because she can get you in touch with who the actual owner is.
True.
And that's always a tough thing, is finding who the owners are to start the conversation with them.
True.
You know, do you ever use any like Skiptracing services, anything like that?
No, I haven't yet, because basically what I do is I go to the county records,
Okay.
and try to pull it up that way. I also drive around the neighborhood, look at abandoned properties and see if I can get information on that, send out letters to that particular address and see if I get a response back.
Mm-hmm.
So I do all kind of different things like that.
Yeah. So are you ever go to like the and pull like red tags from the city, or like look at city liens? You ever pull those kinds of things?
I have not yet. Basically, what I would do is I would call the city tax assessor's office and see if I get information that way.
Okay, so the tax assessor, you're looking for people that are defaulting on their taxes?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, and in California, obviously, people have 5 years to default on their taxes.
Exactly.
So if you don't pay your, you know, what is it, 2018 now? So if you didn't pay your 2013 property taxes, your house is going to go up to
sale.
for sale this
Exactly.
year. You know, in the tax sale auction, which is coming up in Riverside County, I think. So that's another place people go to buy deals. I used to loan money to a guy that would buy them at the tax sale, and then he'd have to go through a whole process getting title because. You know, you don't, in California, it's weird how it works. If you buy a property at a tax sale, it doesn't just go straight to you like it does at a foreclosure sale.
Right.
So yeah, there's a little bit of a process there. But yeah, he knew what he was doing. I've never actually bought a property at tax sale before. I just told him, hey, if you can get title insurance on it, I'll do the deal. And that was, you know, it worked out. But
I did try going to an auction. I didn't have the money to go, but I just wanted to experience it.
it's a good place to go.
You know, just to see how they do it, because it's like, just to see the people in interaction trying to bid on these properties, and they say, okay, you got it, now you got to pay me.
Yeah. You went to the one out in Corona?
I went to one out here in Riverside.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Where at?
Somebody had took me, I forgot where it was, but I went to one out here. Or it might have been Corona, I don't know, because I didn't drive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not from here. You're from Atlanta. So, you know,
Right.
I know you still don't know Riverside like we do
No,
sometimes.
I'm still learning. Becoming a fast learner, though.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you know your way around a little bit.
Yeah,
You
just
make
a
your way
little bit.
all the way out to Hemet. You've gone out to San Bernardino. I mean,
San Bernardino is my friend.
yeah, it is. Yeah, San Bernardino is a good spot for deals right now.
Just got to figure which one is on the bad side and the good side of San Bernardino.
San Bernardino has a good side? No, I'm just kidding. We love San Bernardino. You know? No, San Bernardino, it's going through a rough patch, but I think, you know, that's kind of coming to an end for San Bernardino. It's the funny thing about San Bernardino is that if you look at other cities in Southern California that people are moving to, you got the high desert up in like Victorville, Hesperia, Apple Valley, and, you know, people are moving up there. But San Bernardino is closer to the job centers. So it just makes more sense that San Bernardino would be a more thriving city. But, I mean, it got taken down after the aerospace crash. You know, like that city just started going downhill like crazy.
So now you saying something I don't know nothing about. See, I wasn't here for all that.
Yeah, it's, you know, yeah, like when you go into an area, there's, you know, you can find these things like, I mean, you've probably heard of Flint, Michigan, right?
Yes, I have.
So, like, you know, when the auto manufacturers started like closing down all the factories and stuff, Flint, Michigan took a huge hit, and it's, you know, it's kind of like the San Bernardino of Michigan.
Oh, okay,
you know?
okay.
You know, or like Detroit, like those whole things took huge hits. You know, and the Inland Empire, we got impacted like when the March Air Force Base, you know, went to a reserve base and they closed all the active duty members out.
Oh.
So that happened in like the early 90s, and yeah, that definitely affected a lot of people out here because there was a lot of active duty people stationed at that place. And then, you know, the base went ahead and they started selling all these houses off, and yeah, it was a big impact to our economy out here.
Okay.
So, Yeah, like in Moreno Valley, right along Cactus, like there used to be a lot more businesses that were up there, and a lot more development plans, plans to build stuff along Cactus Boulevard, Alessandro, but then the whole kind of city center shifted down towards like Sunnymead because, the base was closed.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
yeah, like all those businesses that were up along Alessandro and Cactus, they all took a hit because their clientele all moved away.
Okay.
And it happened like overnight practically, So yeah, I mean things like that, big closures like that can affect an area like crazy, but it creates another opportunity.
It does. And I had one major opportunity that was kind of off the grid a little bit. Came across a property that was a dog kennel. That was unique and interesting.
Oh yeah, that was
almost had an opportunity to get it, but we didn't. But it was interesting.
It was
nice.
Interesting. We just don't know enough about dog kennels, Yeah, because I mean, the funny thing about that property was that we were being told by a person who sells dog kennel properties. Like this is a real estate agent that deals with these things, that we could sell this thing for, I think, what was it, 500,000? 600,000, and we're looking at comparable sales of surrounding properties, looking at other homes in the area, that obviously don't have a dog kennel on them, but we're just looking at other stuff, and we're like, man, this thing, like, it's 300,000, like tops,
Right.
like how is that dog kennel going to add another $300,000 of value to this property? And until we can look at the financials for the business side of that, like how are we supposed to know what a dog kennel even makes?
Exactly.
And so, yeah, that one we were just, it's kind of our rule of if we have to like stand on one leg, tilt our head to the side and squint to make it look like a deal, it's probably not a deal. And we should just walk away because, we kind of have the luxury of not having to do a deal.
Right.
It's like when you have to do a deal that you might get yourself into a situation that's not going to work out. So we didn't want to put ourselves in that spot where we're like, all right, here's this property we need to sell for 600 and the market's telling us it's worth 450 maybe. Don't want to take that $150,000 loss, that's for sure.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we passed on the dog kennel. But you find stuff like that. I've kind of, I've found a lot of different weird stuff over the years too, like there was one that they were breeding dogs in, like a dog breeder's house.
Okay.
We looked at this one. I was here in Riverside, and another fellow club member ended up buying it, and I don't think they've sold it yet, especially not for the price that they need to sell it for. Even though we told them not to buy it, but they they went ahead and did it anyway. So yeah, that one, they were breeding some kind of dog there. They had like 100 dogs at this property at one point. And yeah, we called it the puppy mill. But yeah, I mean, you see stuff like that from time to time. Most of the time, I just try to stick to the regular deals, the cookie cutter sort of,
Exactly.
those types of things. Those are easy to sell. It's when you get into the custom weird stuff, it's off a dirt road, on some hilltop, and it's got, 40 different room additions added on over the past 65 years. And those are the hard ones to sell because you got to find a very specific buyer that's looking for that type of a house.
Yeah, but it was just pretty unique and whatnot. So I love the fact that it came across and I took a stab at it and see what we could do with it. But like I said, that's basically what all I do is I find and see what works. I came across a lot of properties since we started doing acquisitions with Orange County.
Mm-hmm.
Came across a lot of properties and whatnot that we almost got on the table, but it just didn't work out. So the main thing you do when you're doing acquisitions, whether you wholesale it or whether you flip it, is trying to network to find the most productive inventory that's out there. They say that it's a buyer's market, it's not a lot of inventory out there. It is, but it's like finding a needle in a haystack. You just got to keep plugging and digging.
Yeah. And the deals you're looking for might not currently be listed for sale.
Right.
The best deals we've always found were found from just regular people needing to sell. They're not being sold by the real estate agents, even though agents do frequently get deals. They're not always being sold by them. So, we could take a moment, I guess, to talk a little bit about finding deals using some other methods. Are there any methods you're looking to try and get into?
Pretty much, I try all different types of strategies.
Yeah.
Because you never know what might work.
Have you tried divorce yet?
I did.
Yeah.
And I came across a lot of distress where they were divorces or deaths and whatnot. And the main thing when you're dealing with a sell by owner in that aspect, uh, I know they're sentimental to them because of whatever the reason the property, why they're losing it. And they want to try to get the most bang for their buck. But the biggest thing I tell them, I say, well, you know what? I know that, you know, what I'm offering might not be conducive to what you're looking for, but there's another way we can handle this. And I offer the fact that, if you take what I give you and you take about $20,000, $30,000 of that money and invest it into a rehab deal where you can gain more money and charge maybe 7, 6, 8, 9% on a return, you can pretty much almost double the money that you're getting on your return. And it's your deal. It's nobody deal but yours. And a lot of people say, yeah, I can do that. I said, it's easy to do that than turn around, put it in the bank and get 1% on your return.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they like that. So some of them, they do go for it. Some of them, they don't go for it. But it's just another strategy that I use to say, hey, let's try this. Or, hey, have you tried all the different modifications that are out there? Don't you know that there's like several modifications? Have you heard anything on the bonds? If not, let's try to work on this. Let's try to call a bank. I'm here to serve you. I don't want anything out of it. I'm here to serve you. And then once you exhausted all the resources, then you could probably go in there and throw, hey, well, if I give you 8,000 to relocate, would you mind taking that and let me get the property from there? So it's all different types of strategies you can use to try to get a property. You just don't go in there and try to rake somebody's property from it, because I tell people, you have to put yourself in their position.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't want to talk about their finances. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And it's
especially if they're not doing so well financially.
Exactly. So it's hurting to them, and it feels like they're ashamed. So you have to give them a piece of yourself. You just can't go in there and talk business, business, business. You got to give them, hey, I understand. I did this in my lifetime. I did that. Now you build a rapport. And once you build that rapport, now they can feel more comfortable to open up to you. So I try all different types of strategies to work around.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's good to hear you say that, you're going to try everything else before the option is sell it to me.
Exactly.
Because, if you're just going in there trying to like buy everybody's house and you're not giving them any other options, you're not helping them at all. Obviously the last resort is for them to sell, and in a divorce situation, usually they kind of have to sell because, they got to start dividing up the assets at some point. But, but selling isn't always the best answer for everybody. For some people, they could get a loan modification, or they can, restructure their deal with their lender in some way, to reduce their principal. Sometimes they can reduce their payment, refinancing. There's a lot of different things they can do before you're going to just sell the house to get out of it. Most people don't want to move.
Well, most people don't understand and see the benefit for me is that because I have been in the industry as far as working in collections. So I understand how the collection process works. I understand how to rebuild your score. So when I give them that kind of information, it makes them feel much better because they think there's no hope. But if you don't have all the facts, then you can't be able to help somebody. Because they don't know, and even if they do know, they don't know who to trust. Because this is something they work for. This is the American dream, to have a piece of the pie. And if you do that, then you feel less than. So you have to build them back up so they can feel more confident to say, hey, I wouldn't mind selling you my property because I know that you got my best interest at heart, versus you coming in like, give me your property. Like I said, I refer back to a lot of things that I've learned from people over the years in doing this. And like I said, Bruce North sticks out the most. You guys stick out the most. A lot of people that I've got in contact with taught me how to be able to speak to people, because I have to put myself in their shoes as well. Because I've been through that. I've been on that side of the fence where financially I didn't have it. I was scared to talk about it. I didn't want people to think I was less than and all this other stuff. So I understand.
Yeah. No, it totally makes sense to me. But treating people with dignity and, like, especially if you can level with them, just say like, look, I've been in your shoes before. It's tremendous help for them to just, it's almost like a little mini support group or something, but people need it. I mean, you don't want to just sell it to somebody that's, feeling like they're trying to take advantage of you or something, you just say, hey, look, I've been in your situation before. And I know I've even offered to people that we've bought houses from that if they ever wanted to come check out the club, come hang out with us, so I can tell them how to do what we do, and
Exactly.
nobody's ever taken me up on it, but I've always offered it to them, but not everybody's into it. They got their own thing they're into. So, whatever. Sometimes it's just drugs is what they're into, and they don't want to do anything with their lives. I don't know, but it's some people you just can't help. And it's not that I'm trying to help everyone, but like at least kind of get them out of this situation that they're in. Motivate, but yeah, people need help. Some people need more help than what I can give.
Exactly.
And, sometimes I don't know if they're ever going to get better, and that's kind of the tough part of it sometimes is you see some situations where people's lives are on a spiraling downhill, thing. They're just, it's getting bad for them.
But in order for them to get help, they got to want to help. You
exactly.
know what I'm saying? If they don't want to help, then it's going to be a bad situation because most people would take the help if they know they need help. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So just coming back and piggybacking off of that, when I came into this business, I knew I needed help. And when I first met you guys, I saw you guys at a club that this guy named Bear Freddie had. And you guys are dressed the same way you always dress, and I know who you guys were, but did I ever think in my wildest dreams that I would run into you guys and you guys started your own club? And when I met you guys were hard money lenders, and everybody said, oh, these guys are expensive, blah, 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 blah. And I was afraid to talk to you guys. And then one day I just pulled you guys out of my back pocket and I called and said, hey, I think I got a deal. Could you just take a look at it and let me know? And lo and behold, you guys said, yeah. And next thing you know, here we are.
Yeah.
But I got out of the fear factor of not being able to speak to somebody and just network. And it worked out perfectly.
Yeah. And there's, I guess in this industry, yeah, when we were doing the loan program, we were the most expensive lender in town. We know we were, but the thing is, we were also the highest leverage lender in town. So people didn't put together the connection there that, yeah, you didn't have to put any money into your deal. We put up all the money. We take all the risk. And yeah, we're going to charge a lot of interest for that because we're taking all the risk, and no other hard money lender, not even to this date I know of, that will put in 100% of the money to do a deal. Still not to this day. And it was a hard program for us to do because it was hard for us to bring in investor capital to keep that program funded.
Right.
So, that was something because it's not the norm. Everybody else has the normal thing that they offer. And if we wanted to do the same thing everybody else does, that money's available in droves. I can get that money all day. I just don't want that program because I don't think it benefits the borrower. Because most borrowers come into this business, they don't have any money and they don't have any experience. So we wanted to bring money and experience to the table for them to help them along the way and get them to the point where they don't need us anymore. It's kind of a funny model where we didn't expect to keep a client around for more than maybe 3 deals at most. And yeah, for the people we did, I think, yeah, I don't think we did more than, I think we did 5 for one particular borrower, but that was it. We didn't do any more deals with them after that because they don't need us anymore.
Exactly.
And now they're doing the same volume that we're doing. So, that was kind of our intent. We wanted to get into that level of it. So yeah, we were expensive, but when we started the company, it was either try to offer the same program everybody else does for cheaper or offer a program nobody else does and offer it for more.
Right.
So we went the other route. We went high leverage on it. And it was actually a good program. It was great. Some people really want that program back. I've had people ask me, hey, man, you guys told me you were doing this program. I'm like, yeah, but that was, 4 years ago. So I'm sorry, we're not doing it anymore. Now we're flipping and having a lot of fun doing it. So we offer the JV program now for people that want to do it, which is basically the same thing as the loan program. In fact, I think we make about the same amount of money as we did on the loan program. But, we're flipping instead. And we take all the control, which is a little different than the loan program because at least with the loan program, we let them go out and make mistakes. But we found that to be costly for us sometimes if the mistakes were a little bit too expensive. So...
Yeah, with the program that you guys have with the JV, you guys are doing something phenomenal that you can't find anywhere else where you're saying, okay, we put up the money, we give you the contractor, all we ask you to do is come 2, 3, 4 days out the week and just learn.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a sweet deal.
And you get paid for it.
Exactly. If nobody understands that doing the JV is that what you put is what you get out. You do 50-50, you get 50-50. If they put in 60-40, you get 40, and so forth and so on. But you guys were giving it at 100%, giving the contractor, and all you said was to come there and just learn.
Yep.
You can't beat that deal. So you guys, what you guys have done has been phenomenal. And like I said, you guys took a person like myself. You saw the potential that I couldn't see and said, hey, here's what you need to do. You do it. We'll work with you. If we don't, see you another day.
Well, I appreciate that, Thomas. I appreciate the what is that? I can't even think of the word.
Sell pitch.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, we're actually about out of time. So yeah, I want to thank you, Thomas, for coming on today, talking about acquisitions and whatnot, give everybody the best strategies on things they can do. And I want to let everybody else out there know, if you want to come check out the club, check out the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club on meetup.com. Come out and meet Thomas, come meet myself, and we'll talk about doing some deals together. And as always, tune into the Flip Flop Investor Show every week, Thursday, 4 p.m., right here on KCAA. Take care, everyone. Have a good week. Thanks.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.